Gene Wilder. You ever rewatch a movie you've seen a dozen times and suddenly notice something that changes everything? Blazing Saddles is one of those films we've all laughed at, quoted, and probably debated over beers. But what if the most iconic moment isn't the one you remember? What if the key to the whole thing was hidden in plain sight? Quiet, subtle, and totally unexpected? And it came from someone who wasn't even supposed to be in the movie to begin with. Now here's where it gets wild. No pun intended. The role of the Waco Kid? That wasn't originally Gene Wilder's. The part had already gone to Oscar winner Gig Young. Sounded like a solid pick at the time. The man had chops. But on day one, literally the first day of filming, everything went sideways. Young started sweating, shaking, slurring his words. At first, people thought maybe he was just getting into character. Nope. Turns out he was going through alcohol withdrawal. Midway through the shoot, he collapsed. Total disaster. So, what do you do when your movie's in trouble and your leading actor goes down? You call the one guy who can save the whole thing. Mel Brooks didn't call an agent. He called a friend, Gene Wilder. And here's the kicker. Wilder didn't ask for a script, didn't ask about pay, didn't even ask what the role was. He just said yes, hopped on a plane, and showed up the very next day. No prep, no rehearsal, just raw instinct and trust. And from that chaotic entry, something unexpected happened. Wilder didn't just play the Waco Kid. He became him. This wasn't some big, loud, over-the-top comedy performance. This was quiet, haunted, dry as dust. The kind of acting that creeps up on you. While everyone else was running wild, breaking the fourth wall and punching horses, Wilder stood still, calm, broken, funny in a way that sneaks past your defenses and hits something deeper. He told Mel Brooks one thing before taking the job: I won't play him for laughs. And man, did that decision pay off. In a movie full of chaos, Wilder became the still center. The Waco Kid was tired, burned out, probably traumatized, and he played it all with a slow, steady hand and a 1,000-yard stare. That jailhouse scene, where he explains why his hand shakes, it's not just a joke. It's a little piece of tragedy dressed in comedy. Now ask yourself, if Gig Young had stayed in the role, would the Waco Kid have become the philosophical, tragic cowboy we remember? Probably not. Gene's version changed the entire tone of the film, and it wasn't just on screen where he made a difference. Off camera, he helped keep things together. Mel was the wild visionary. Wilder was the quiet anchor. He gave tips to younger actors, kept the energy steady, and even started brainstorming Young Frankenstein on the same set. Yep, that idea was born between takes. And speaking of dream duos, did you know Richard Pryor was originally supposed to play Sheriff Bart? He helped write the script, shaped the satire, added that sharp commentary on race. But the studio said no. Too risky, too controversial. So we got Cleavon Little, who crushed it. But it's crazy to think about what might have happened if Pryor and Wilder had teamed up then. Their chemistry in later films? Electric. But imagine it starting with Blazing Saddles. What a moment we missed. Still, Pryor's fingerprints are all over that movie. The edge, the honesty, the bite. That's him, even if he's not on screen. And Wilder always gave him credit. He knew the film's heart came from more than just the laughs. Now here's something even die-hard fans may not know. Gene Wilder almost ruined takes just by being too good. Seriously. His dry delivery? It cracked up the crew so badly they had to reshoot scenes over and over. That line about simple farmers morons? People off camera were losing it. Even the camera crew couldn't hold it together. Mel Brooks had to leave the set more than once because his laughter kept ruining the audio. There are even rumors, yes, real ones, that some of Wilder's more emotional, introspective scenes were cut. They went deeper into the Waco Kid's past, added even more weight to his story. But the film's pace didn't leave room for it. We may never see those lost moments, but what made it into the final cut? That's more than enough to feel his impact. And look, Wilder wasn't just a genius actor, he was a quiet rebel. At a time when comedy meant big expressions and physical gags, he brought stillness. He didn't need to mug for the camera. He didn't even want to. He trusted the story. He trusted the audience. He played it real, and that made the madness around him even funnier. He even stood his ground with the studio. When execs tried to water down the racial satire, cut the harsh language, soften the blow, Wilder backed Brooks all the way. Not with shouting or grand speeches, just steady, unshakable support. He knew satire has to sting. That was the whole point. If you pull the punches, you lose the message. And here's the thing. Without Gene Wilder, Blazing Saddles might have fallen apart. He saved the film from a casting disaster. He held the tone in place. He gave it depth. His Waco Kid wasn't just a sidekick. He was the soul of the movie. And decades later, it's that quiet, haunted performance that people remember most. So the next time you rewatch Blazing Saddles, pay close attention to Wilder. Watch the way he listens more than he talks. Notice how he lets silence do the work. How his stillness amplifies the chaos. That's not luck. That's mastery. That's comedy with weight, with pain, with meaning. And if this gave you a new way to see the film, or made you want to rewatch it with fresh eyes, do us a favor. Hit that like button. Drop a comment with the line you never noticed before. And if you're into behind-the-scenes film deep dives like this, go ahead and subscribe. We've got more stories coming that'll blow your mind. See you in the next one.